Hey everyone, this is Johnny Lamb from MilestoneRice.com, and for today we want to check out a couple of stove options that I take with me on my bike tours. We're going to start out with the Jetboil, and then we're going to check out a couple of alcohol stoves, a DIY option, as well as the ones you could buy from the store. So we're just going to examine the practicality of each stove at different situations on bike tour and see what works and what doesn't. So let's just get started. So for our first stove is this amazing little device called the Jetboil. This is one of the more solid stoves to bring with you on a bike tour. I've taken this everywhere, like coming down to Canada, riding across Europe for 3 months. This thing has been working like a champ, and I would highly recommend it if you are planning to do a long-term trip. So the great thing about the stove is everything you need is here in my hand. It's very easy to set up and also very easy to put away and store away in your pannier when you don't need it. So let's check out what's comprised of this whole setup. So the Jetboil consists of multiple parts. The first part I'm going to show you is the lid. The lid itself, it's rubber, it has a spigot right here for you to pour water out, and we'll remove that right now. Kind of show you what it kind of looks like here. And then it's also a pot that is wrapped in a neoprene koozie that basically prevents your hands from being burnt. So it's a good thing. I'm going to take out some items out of here and kind of go over what those are. And this guy down here too. Right here. It's a little tough. Anyways, so the pot itself is made out of titanium, very lightweight, and the bottom is where you put the stove, and I'll show you that later, but this is where the little ridges allow you to have a lot of heat underneath that's concentrated to boil water at a very fast time. And then you have what is the fuel stand. So you basically put this fuel can on top of this, so that you can put it so that it sits steadily and it does not move. And of course, you got a stainless steel pot holder that sits right on top of this guy right here, which is the stove, and it kind of sits like this for you to kind of put your pots or frying pans on. And then you screw on the fuel canister here and put right on top of this guy, and it sits right there. And once it's all done, you can cook with it. But if you don't have any kind of pan or pots, you basically screw this on like this. There's little notches right here, and turn, and locks in place. And it'll sit right on top. Put your water in there, cover this bad boy, and you're ready to go. Alright, and the last piece to it, this is a 1 cup bowl that you can use to either pour out exactly 1 cup, or use it to drink or eat your food. So it's very convenient, all contained, like I said. Only thing you need now is just the fuel canister, as well as like eating utensils like a spork or a spoon or whatever. So it's, like I said, it's very convenient. So overall, for what I need on a multi-day bike tour, the Jetboil does its job. It's very easy to store in my panniers, also easy to clean up, as well as easy to set up, and it only weighs about 1.3 pounds, so it's not too bad in terms of weight that I'm carrying. You could actually pick up one of these at your local sporting goods stores for about 70 to 100 bucks. Okay, for those who wants to go to the cheap route, you could actually make your own stove. Let me present to you the alcohol stove, aka the penny stove. So what this is made out of is 2 aluminum soda cans, and you basically customize it and put it together, and it's super cheap, ultra light, and actually not too hard to make once you get the hang of it, but there's also a purchase version called the Trangia stove, and it's kind of looks the same, and you basically put the fuel here the same way. It's great. And for the fuel, there's actually a lot of different options for two different alcohol stoves that you both can use. You can actually go and look and use gasoline, rubbing alcohol, nail polish removers, and then two of my favorites, heat, that's HEET, and denaturalized alcohol. So for these stoves, it's very new to me, so I haven't really had a chance to go out and test them. So I'm gonna have to check it out myself and see how I like it, but I'll report back to you once that's done. But for now, let's check out some of the features that the stove has to offer. So the thing about these stoves is they're really tough to light, even both of them, the manufacturer one and the your do-it-yourself kind of thing. You essentially need to put fuel in this priming chamber and kind of use the lighter and light upside down without burning yourself. So it's really tricky. Once done, the flame goes on, and you're ready to kind of cook things on top of it. The part about the DIY stove that really isn't good is that it is susceptible to being crushed. So if you have this sitting in your pannier or your bags anywhere, it's made out of an aluminum, can. So it's really light, yes, but it's very malleable, so it'll be crushed really easily. So be aware of that. The actual manufacturing one's a little tougher. It's a thicker, I guess it might be steel or tin or something, but you're not going to be able to crush it as much as this, so be aware of that. And then the other part is a windscreen for the stove. So imagine the pot sitting on the stove, which I have a pot right here, sitting on top of a pot stand. And from that point on, if there's any kind of wind that blows across the stove, it'll put out the flame, so you'll just need something to kind of block it. So, there's more things that you need to have along when you're cooking with this thing. And the second thing to be aware of is there are incidents that I've seen online and as well as in person is once you get this guy going and it's really hot, it's already kind of cooking your food, your stove, and you go, oh wait, I have to add a little bit more fuel because it's almost running out, and you decide to pour more fuel in it while it's hot. Bad decision. I've seen explosions. This thing flies a few feet in the air and you get fuel all over the place, and if you're lucky, you're not around that, but some people weren't very lucky, so be aware of that. Number 3, that's actually another it's along the same line about explosions. So there's also videos that I've seen on YouTube where the stove itself would actually, after working for a little bit, it would ignite and kind of combust by itself. So, needless to say, when you're operating these stoves, give yourself a lot of space, stay away from it while it's burning, and make sure that you're ready for any kind of emergency as it happens. Alright, if you're still interested in making your own stove, I'm going to have links at the bottom in the description for you to kind of watch some YouTube videos and figure it out. That's how I did it. Or, buy your own. I'll have links at the bottom as well for you to purchase your own if you don't want to go through all the trouble, and check it out for yourself, alright? Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the overview of the stove. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them at the bottom in the comments section. In the meantime, hit that like button or subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. I'm also on milestonerise.com for more information about bike touring, stories, tips, as well as reviews. But in the meantime, make sure you get out there and discover your ride.